Most attorneys aren't really good at sales because what they want to do is give legal advice. So when you put the non-attorney in place, you just move the legal advice down the road, right? And so now they get to be the attorney and they don't have to be a salesperson.
Hey, law firm owners, welcome to the Your Practice Master podcast. We're your hosts. I'm MPS.
And I'm Richard James. And so we've got Nicole Lavallee and her husband, Warren. Nicole's the attorney. Warren came in and runs the firm for her administratively and through the tech side. They were an EAY finalist before. And so they continued to grow and continue to move forward. And now their numbers were so strong, they were able to be an EAY finalist again. That's pretty special.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicole, for everybody who's listening, tell us, who are you and what do you and Warren do? What's Warren's role? What's your role? What does it look like now?
My husband is my office manager / IT guru. He takes everything that needs to be done and fixes it on the computer. And we're a family and real estate practice. We've been doing it for 25 years. We have 13 staff members. We have 7 in-house and 5 remote, which consists of our intake and our sales team, which is all remote.
Nice. And are you still hourly billing? Are you personally still billing hours now?
I bill about 15 hours per week.
Okay. So we've drastically reduced your requirement of billable hours.
Correct.
This is pretty exciting. And there was a lot of fundamental details and systems that you started to implement on round 1 of EAY. Now, round 2, it feels like you almost rebuilt your entire system and recognized that you didn't necessarily have a people problem going on. You guys had a system opportunity. So what moment was it that you recognized that? And what was something you guys started to do to turn that around?
My biggest issue was having a constant turnaround with the intake people. It was very frustrating to me. I didn't like it, and I needed to have something different. So we decided to create a leadership role, and the person that we found was able to step right in, take over, and really build an entire operating system for the intake process.
Some of our telephone people kept leaving and we kept having high turnovers. Nicole went to one of the conferences. She came back saying, "Why don't we hire Simone?" That never occurred to me. That's an excellent idea because Simone is my daughter. So, I didn't want to hire a family, but she hired me. So she was my daughter, and she'd been working for like 6 or 7 years doing telephone support, and she was a manager. Once Nicole suggested it, and we ended up talking to Simone, she was overjoyed to come work for us. She looked at everything, and once she understood it and got into the system and learned all of the steps, so then we started using her for hire, and we ended up with what we were looking for. So now we've got, including her, 4 people on the phones full time.
MPS, you know what it's like to see our teams or our clients really struggle with this turnover. I assume that you actually watching her go through the training program, you recognize that it's a game changer, right?
Yeah, and it's one of those roles that a lot of law firms don't hire for. It's a sales manager role. And it's one of the most lucrative roles because it's the person managing the people that control the money flow. If there's no one managing them, turnover happens, accountability drops, all that stuff happens. And then it's a frustrating game of constantly fill, replace, fill, replace, fill, replace. But a sales manager helps step in and close that gap. And it sounds like Simone was able to do that for you guys. So I'm curious, as you went through this process, I think you identified over $1 million in just missed opportunities laying out there. How did you guys quantify that?
Just looking at our numbers, I saw, why are we only getting 40%? We should be getting a lot more. Why are we missing these phone calls? Why do we have all of these files that are moving to closed and they've never been touched and these people aren't being reached? So it was building that system to going from 40% to 150% on some of the PCLC numbers.
So you felt comfortable with Simone and you saw the data. Did she come in and did you immediately let her go hire somebody and build out the team? Or did she come in and prove that she could execute the job at a high level first?
She actually came in and was starting at the bottom. We weren't intentionally looking for the leader. We thought the leader was one of the other people that we already have working for us. And we actually tried that, and that person said, "I don't know that I really like this role." It was when that happened that all of a sudden Simone said, "Yes, I'm happy to do this. This is what I like to do." So it was a nice transition.
I want to go back even one step before that, which was, so Simone started at the bottom and worked her way up. Was there any formal process that you guys took her through to rise her into the leadership role or prepare her for that?
I think it was more of a smooth transition. We were implementing flow in the sales team. The other person that was in that role was helping Simone, but ultimately she started going to the flow meetings, understanding what it was about, listening to the trainings on that. And that's really what grasped it for her to say, this makes sense. So now we just needed to make a transition between in-house and remote workers and make that a smoother transition.
For the telephone, we thought we had an onboarding procedure, but Simone took a look at it and she did not like it at all. And she immediately started building, which was an indicator to us that maybe she had management potential. So we thought we were ready for the onboarding. We thought we already had that down, but it took Simone coming on board to show me that we really didn't have it down as much as we thought.
There's nothing like having somebody in your team with a voice of experience to go, what you're doing isn't working as well as the way I could show you how to do it.
That's
Yes,
the whole
please.
flow thing. We're fixing week to week. We're getting real-time feedback and we're trying to fix it. And she fit right into that.
So for all of you listening, flow is something that Bert Diener invented. It's a management system and structure that we teach, and we help our members hold accountable to run the different departments in their firm. In this particular case, we're talking about using it for intake. And the idea is to not just have top-down ideas, but rather help the team create ideas from the bottom up. So, Nicole, what it was like to work with a team that had high turnover and didn't execute well, and what it's like to work with a team with a leader who knew how to get stuff done, how to onboard and train properly, and could identify key team members that she knew was quality and bring them over. What did it feel like to see that happen for you?
It was a godsend. I mean, that's the best word I can say, is that it just made life easier. I think we had that ability to be very candid with one another, communicate what we needed, but boy, it was a godsend because everything just started moving very quickly and in the right way.
MPS, I'm curious, for those firms that are listening that go, oh, well, I don't have a Simone in my family and I don't know anybody that knows these people. Is it possible for them to go out and find good quality intake managers or sales managers and build good quality teams?
It's more than possible. To Nicole's point, there's something to be said about being able to communicate with family just a tad differently. But I would tell you, for the right people and the right sales manager, you can communicate the exact same way, because they should be able to be there and be a sounding board and a board of reason as well. And quite frankly, they should also have the ability to do that with their sales team. Yes, those people can be found. It doesn't have to be within a family. It doesn't even have to be within your inner circle. You can find and recruit quality talent that can do a really, really good job with your sales team. Look, if you're in a position where you're looking to build your intake team, or you're not an attorney salesperson, or even a sales manager, you could head over to non-attorneysalespeople.com and we can talk about what it looks like to bring one of those people onto your team and get the right fit. I think you guys reported you went from a set rate of 39% to 76% and went from 10 to 25 retained cases per month. So besides putting a sales manager in place, what changed in the client journey?
More touches, more human connection, frequency. And we also had a non-attorney salesperson come in and step in where it freed up the attorneys to do attorney work.
Warren, were you for that or against that, the non-attorney salesperson? How did you feel about it?
I was hesitant and it was the step of faith, but I took the step of faith and it's a good idea. I think it's the right way to go. I'm looking for when we have mature salesperson in there that we can count on and has consistent values every week. But definitely the lawyers aren't salespeople. The lawyers don't want to be salespeople. The lawyers are resistant. They always want to be lawyers. They're not about closing. They're about giving out legal advice. No matter how many times I tell them, they seem to keep doing the same thing. So I think sales is the way to go.
The reality is when it comes to sales, most attorneys who are not the owner of the firm, and even those who are the owner of the firm, aren't really good at sales because what they want to do is give legal advice. And so all we want to do is create a place where they can give legal advice. So when you put the non-attorney in place, you just move the legal advice down the road, right? And so now they get to be the attorney and they don't have to be a salesperson. They get happier and the salespeople are happy. There's a process to this and there's some pain involved in this. Like, when you're finding your non-attorney salesperson, when you're hiring your intake team, it takes work. Anyway, speak to the law firm owner who's going, yeah, I should do this. How should they go into this? What should they expect thinking about building an intake team or getting a better intake team or putting non-attorney salespeople in place? What should they expect?
You said it, salespeople, and I'm classifying salespeople as both intake and non-attorney salespeople running consultations, are emotional creatures. Their highs are pretty high, but their lows can be pretty low. That sometimes breeds some inconsistency, which is why you need the right script and structure in place. And even with that, this is why you need a sales manager, because it's going to require leveling throughout the process. So although it's going to be the best decision you make, it's not going to be an easy one, but it's going to be the one that sets you on a path to freedom, especially when you get to the level where bringing a sales manager in makes sense, because now you've added a layer between you and the salespeople themselves. But it's not always like a one shot and you got it. Yeah.
Warren, anything else you want to add to the reason why you've seen the success you did, both from increasing your set rate from 39% to 76% and seeing a 60-odd% leap in gross revenues over the last year in 2025?
We're listening to customers and we're trying to avoid just treating them as numbers and statistics. We try to answer fast. We try to listen. We try to let them know that they're real and that we see them. And we try to keep them informed during the full process and avoid silences. We find that interacting with people, when they think silence, that's really bad from an attorney. They think stuff is going wrong or something.
It's a powerful combination. And the numbers sure drive all of the decisions and the metrics behind the business, but the people is what make the business. So yeah, Warren, I couldn't agree more.
I'm curious, how important has it been for you to have a community to be able to work off of and learn from as you're going through this growth phase?
Invaluable, basically. It's great when I can talk to somebody that understands where I am. You know, we're in that stage where everything looks really good and then it doesn't. And so it's really nice to be able to bounce ideas off of people, to have a family law community as well, because they're going to understand the hourly issues and all the other things that come with family law problems. So it's invaluable.
It's nice to be able to post questions to people who in the business and have answers and get vendor recommendations and things that they've done back. Plus, all the conferences are really useful. I love having resources.
Yeah, well, we love the conferences too. And we'll be able to hear your presentation as you compete for the 2025 Entrepreneurial Attorney of the Year award.
Look, if you're in a position where you're looking to build your intake team, or you're not an attorney salesperson, or even a sales manager, you could head over to nonattorneysalespeople.com and we can talk about what it looks like to bring one of those people onto your team and get the right fit.
Well, everybody, we appreciate you for listening. To Nicole, to Warren, congratulations to both of you. Thank you for sharing with the legal community at large. I'm looking forward to seeing you compete in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.